Now comes the part whereby I really don't think it's necessary to just cook up more definitions if there is like no real need to. This one and this one, the two services that I'm going to be talking about today, they are clearly not feeder buses. I don't care what kind of like fancy schmancy definition you come up with, like long feeder or like something along those lines, but call them as they are. They are trunk services. They are long enough to be trunk services, and their purpose is to be a trunk service, nothing else, just trunk service, please. I mean, I'm only making this video because there are like some bus fans out there that, I don't know, they come up with like one whole fucking thesis or like a scholarly article trying to explain why, oh, 116 should extend to Bidadari. No, it shouldn't. So now I'm gonna explain the mechanism of how the bus services loop at this place. Next. Like next over here. The reason why 43M and 53M, I mean one loops clockwise 43M and then the other one loops anti-clockwise 53M. So for these two services, it is simply to follow their parent service, because it's like when you board like 53 towards Lorong Asu, Hougang Avenue 1, you board it here. And 53M is supposed to call at the same bus stop so that it's consistent. The same thing goes for 43M over here. Because 43 towards Pongo, it goes up. And that's why 43M follows suit as well. It goes up. This is only done simply because they want them to follow their parent services. But the one thing that I really need you guys to understand is not incurring too many right turns. Okay, I'm really sorry if you're watching this video and you live in an LHD country, like left-hand drive country, but Singapore as well as Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia, they're all like right-hand drive. So I mean, like, when it comes to a junction, this is the one that would waste time in the sense that like you have to wait for like the traffic cycles. And then for left turns, roads in like Singapore, Japan, not really in the case of Japan. Japan doesn't really have a lot of slip roads, but Singapore and Malaysia, they have this kind of like slip roads whereby it benefits vehicles, like any vehicle that's like left turning. And then this is the opposite for like RHD countries. For LHD countries, because it's like, to them it's like this and then like this as well. So the left turn in this case would be the one that would get affected by like the traffic cycles. Okay, so but in general, this is the reason why in Singapore you don't really want to accumulate like too many right turns unnecessarily, like in the case of this and then in the case of this. So because of this is precisely the reason why 116 loops this way, anti-clockwise. Because there's a slip road here, there's another slip road here, and all you have to deal with is just this one right turn. And 116, its purpose is not to be sent down to Bidadari like Woodley. Its purpose is to loop at next without running into like any more traffic congestion along like Bartley Road. It is meant to stay put. It was never meant to cross this boundary. Understand? 116's purpose is to act as something like 315X for the most part, and then like to feed like Serangoon North, that area, and Hougang Avenue 9 and 4 to like straight to Hougang. That's its purpose. Its purpose is only limited to Hougang, Serangoon North, and next, like Serangoon area. Not anywhere else. Don't just change a loop service to a bidirectional one for no reason. The reason why 81 and 82 in the case of extending to Woodley, the reason why it's justified for this two is because 81's frequency right now is very, very inconsistent. I mean, it all depends on like the congestion along TPE, the expressway, and that, I mean, that's just one of the reasons why it gets like slowed down a lot. So by making this one bidirectional, you're like, it's easier to like control the frequencies in both directions, which is kind of the same thing with this one. Cause 82, this one might get trapped in the junction like between TPE and Pongo Road. So yeah, that's one place that might affect this service's reliability. So changing this one to bidirectional, like, I mean, the two on the left, it wouldn't really hurt. But the one reason why 116 has to stay as a loop service is because, okay, the route is already very short. So keeping it as a loop, I mean, like, no harm. Now, 43M, they're already going to convert it to 104. So it's no longer going to like do this loop anymore. It's more likely that they're just going to send it straight down Serangoon Avenue 1 to Woodley. And then you might be asking like, okay, like a genuine question like, why can you do it for this and not this? The answer is that 43M, like currently the 43M is already on this side of the road. Like this side of the road and not the other side. And the thing about 116 besides the right turning is that in front of the bus stop there is this taxi stand which can cause a lot of problems, especially during peak hours. So because of the position of the taxi stand, like it's not inside here but it's like on the road itself, that's the reason why this part of like Serangoon Central gets congested. And 116 is specifically sent to the other direction to loop. So again, it avoids the right turns. I mean, this right turn and this right turn, it really wastes a lot of time. So and then this right turn, it's just one right turn. Because the thing is, 116, it has to touch next, but not in the wrong direction. It has to touch it in a way that it avoids the congestion along this area. Because remember, 43M and 53M, they are bound by like the rules that like the parent bus service and then the modified bus service, I mean the shorter M bus service, they have to be on the same bus stop. But 116 is not, it's not like bound to these rules or anything. And that's the reason why you can make 116 loop anti-clockwise and avoid the congestion here. And the thing is, 116 has to touch next. So if you make 116 bidirectional, you have to call this side and then you have to call this side as well. The thing about 116, again, being a loop service is that you can call this side, like avoid this side, and then allow passengers from this side to go up. When you convert it to bidirectional, this is no longer possible. I hope you guys can understand. So 104, or like 43M, I mean, is already on like this side of the road. So extending it down like this, I mean bidirectional, extending it down, it wouldn't really matter because 43M is already on this side. You cannot do this to 116 because it's on the other side. And like I mentioned before, its purpose is to bring people from this side of the road back. And again, I've already said, the reason why it calls opposite next is because to avoid the congestion along this area. 116 was designed in a way to avoid every single point of congestion. That's the reason why it has to stay as a loop service as opposed to like this one. The same exact argument can be said for 81 and 82 as well, because you know that like ever since the old Serangoon closed down, 81 and 82 were they were converted to like bi-directional bus services. So they were converted from bi-directional bus services to loop services. So 81 and 82, they're along this side of the road. Same for 43M. 53M is along this side of the road, and so is 116. And 53M is simply just a case of like following the parent service, but you realize this is the only one that calls the opposite side of the road. And like I've explained, that is its purpose. It's to loop there without any hassle, running into congestion, stuff like that. So this is the reason why 116 has to stay like this. And then this one, no offense, the suggestion is really not good. I will explain why 184 has to loop. Okay, so the suggestion being put forth was that like, okay, why not let's merge this one and this one till like a certain point, like Harbourfront or Kampong Baru. Okay. Number one, 184, just like in the same fashion as 116, it has to remain as a loop service, and I will explain why. So, you know that Commonwealth Avenue West, westbound, this area gets like clogged during peak hours because every single bus service, it goes like this or it goes like this. And the reason why it doesn't get clogged on the other side is because most of the bus services that are going eastbound, they come out like this. Because in 1980, I forgot the year, is it 1988 or something, they abolished the right turn coming out from Clementi Avenue 3. And they made all the buses like go like this. So this side of the road is more congested. This side of the road is like a lot emptier. And that's the reason why 184 specifically takes advantage of this. Now, the reason why 184 isn't sent inside of Clementi Interchange, despite 184, like this version of 184 being under SBS ever since the beginning of time, it belonged to SBS, then it headed over to TIPS and then SMRT. But here's the thing, even though SBS was the first one to operate this generation of 184, there's a reason why they didn't send it inside Clementi Interchange. They wanted to pitch 184 at Clementi MRT and not inside the interchange. It's less access penalty from people coming from the MRT anyway, because 184 is like kind of hub spoke in a way. That's the reason why it calls this side of the road. And the thing is, you don't want 184 along this side of the road. Look, as much as possible, don't send any new bus service along this side of the road unless necessary. I mean, you might be thinking of 502, but no, 502 historically it was Totak and PIE in both directions. But you can kind of say it's a good thing that 502 only like calls this side of the road and not like this side. I mean, passes through that side of the road, not calls. And the thing is, how exactly do you loop at this place? You only have this road to work with. You cannot use this road. You cannot use this road. You only have Avenue 5 westbound to work with. And do you notice something? It's all left turns. One left turn here, one left turn here, one left turn here, and then there's a junction here, but this one, it doesn't really matter. Another left turn here. Because of this, do you see how simple it is to make 184 loop like this? Right turn, out of necessity. Left, 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 left. Okay, I'm gonna show you 52 and 154. You have one junction to deal with, left turn, another junction to deal with. You see, 184 is just faster as compared to like this one or this one. There is a reason why they put bendy buses on 184, okay, to take advantage of this. Because 184 is marginally faster than this and this when it comes to reaching SUSS, SIM, what's the name of that polytechnic? It's Neon Polytechnic. The additional benefit of these is that, unlike these two along this side of the road, 184, again, it allows people from the universities and polytechnics, I mean like up there, it allows them to access Clementi MRT without going to this, without running into congestion along the westbound side of Commonwealth Avenue West. And not just that, 184, if you happen to live like inside Clementi, like around this area, especially, I mean, okay, maybe this area, 184 is kind of doorstep. Yes, I do know that 184 is functioning like a feeder inside here, but it is still a trunk, okay? Like 101, it loops inside Buangkok. It's still considered a trunk. It's not a feeder service. Just because this one small part acts like a feeder service doesn't necessarily mean the whole route is like a feeder service, okay? But yes, 184 is doorstep. And it's also doorstep along this area as well. So you don't have to board at Clementi. You can board here and escape the crowd, or you can board here if this is like outside your house. You see how convenient it is for like 184 to like loop here in the correct direction instead of like running into congestion along the other side of the road? Because it's convenient to take 184 like this. It's also convenient to take 184 like this, back. And yes, if you're asking, 184 gets downsized to a full single decker fleet on weekends because there is no school on weekends. I mean, you have CCA, but like it's just a minority. That's all. Same reason why if you want to run 852, it shouldn't even run on weekends. It should just run on weekdays. You cannot just operate a bus service because, oh my god, people have CCA on Saturdays. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what's your point of view, but I don't even support people having this kind of co-curricular activities on weekends when it's supposed to be a rest day. It's just like working on weekends. It should be by choice, not enforced. I mean, unless your shift is on like weekends, and yeah, that's a different story. But like, again, it's a minority, and that's the reason why 184 gets downsized. Can you see that? I mean, like, if you make 184 bidirectional, I don't even know why you would even want to make 184 bidirectional, which completely defeats the purpose of the service. Look, if you, okay, like again, if you make 184 bidirectional, like let's say along this line, and then let's say you give up this stop, okay, people living near this stop, they would complain that they have to walk all the way to like this stupid bus stop, or they have to walk all the way to this stupid bus stop, which is like congested to hell. And then not just that. If you do this, you're running into congestion along this side of the road. Like, okay, absorb absorb 166. You're just destroying the purpose of this service. Like, come on. 184 is meant for quick access between here, here, and here. Doing that, you just completely screwed the service. Guys, as much as I don't really support rationalization of 166, the western sector between Clementi and Harbourfront is especially important. And that's why you don't just subcon it to another bus service. And then Kampong Baru, this side is essential. And then there's like Little India, KK Hospital, Novena. Every single part of 166 has to be kept. If you really wanted to rationalize it, fine. Novena, Thompson Road, you send it up to like Caldecott, and then you send it inside Toa Payoh. Fine, this is one thing that I can give you. If you don't want that, okay, I can send it to like MacRitchie, and then Upper Thompson Road, and then Bishan Street 21 to Bishan. You really think that 166 is useless and you want to rationalize the service? Okay, I give you two choices. Bishan, Toa Payoh. One last time, don't do this kind of nonsense trying to subcon this to another service, because you guys don't even have like a good conceptual understanding of what 184 is supposed to do. Okay, fine, I'll give you guys one last case study. Again, it's like, it depends on context. It's not like a one-size-fits-all approach. The reason why, like the genuine reason why stuff like 859 and 883 cannot just be extended to loop here, and even I made the same mistake in the past as well. Okay, the reason why 883 loops at the hospital along this side of the road is because having a bus stop outside the road as opposed to like opposite the hospital, it's much more convenient. I mean, it's a hospital. This is not like a gymnasium, it's a hospital. Okay, and that is like the genuine reason why they made 883 just loop like this. And I know what you might be thinking. Okay, what about 859? The reason why they didn't do this like for 859 is because inside the interchange itself, there is a lot of people taking 859 to go towards in the Sembawang direction. And because of that, they don't really want to extend the bus route to like call outside, like on this side of the road, when majority of people, they come from this side, the interchange side. Okay, one way to mitigate this is probably make 859 call the interchange because there is demand. I did not ask you to convert it to an arrow! Okay. Like this. And, okay, let's say like this. Okay, I mean, here or here, it doesn't matter. In the case of 859. And then you loop back. Okay, you loop back, and then you go inside again. Like doing it like 265. Yes. I know there's a reason why they didn't do it, because like of the lack of like berth space inside inside the interchange. But you can technically, I'm not against it. You can technically do this for 859 if you have you have adequate space inside the interchange. It's not a big deal. But again, for 883, there is like this minor access penalty. The access penalty is like a lot more significant when it comes to a hospital. You don't want people to like cross the road for no reason. And that's the reason why they introduce, okay, whether or not you find this service useful, that's besides the point. It's basically to allow people to access like the polyclinic from the correct side of the road. Like in this case, correct side of the road. This one, same concept. Because the reason why I'm making this video is I don't want people to go around like armchair planning just because, oh my god, I really hate long loop services or short loop services. I want to give them more purpose. I want them to be bi-directional because they have all this kind of like cyclic demand, and I want to cut the runtime of services to below 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 1